Bro, hey everyone. Mark here. Another Day Mark podcast. Remember that podcast thing that I had? I know it's been a while. I don't like I had to take some time off, honestly. Like, uh, I had some family stuff going on, some work stuff going on, just everything going on. Um, it was really rough through Thanksgiving and even Christmas time, uh, death in the family, everything else. So I was like, man, I don't have it in me right now for like podcasting. Like, yeah, I was still doing YouTube stuff and everything else, but it was like the merch was picking up going into holidays. I just wanted to focus on spending time with my wife and family and everything else. And just, hey, I'll come back to the podcast when I come back to it. I was gonna be like, oh yeah, I'll take a month or two off. Literally, my last episode was on Halloween. Like, and I will say, all the people who did reach out to me, I appreciate all of you. I mean, obviously, I replied back saying, "Hey, everything's good. Just I'm just take some time off of the podcast. I usually do it around the end of the year, beginning of the year. Anyways, I'll take like a month off every year. This time, about 4 months. so, uh, so this is gonna be just like a kind of chill episode. Get back into the swing of things. A lot's been going on. My birthday was on February 28th. I'm 38 years old now. Okay, listen, I'm 38. Like, damn, I'm old. Okay, I'm starting to face my mortality. You know, and then Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth came out, so that's literally been taking up all my free time. That is what my world has revolved around, to the point where like I have a lot of laundry I need to do. And I'm not gonna make my wife do laundry. We both work full time. I'm not like, hey, I'm gonna play 5 7. Like, I'm like, oh, I got the laundry. You're at work. I'll do the laundry today. Nope. I played freaking Rebirth for like 6 hours straight. I got, when time recording this, I got like 90 minutes before she gets out of work. Laundry's not getting done. Sorry, honey. Just, Rebirth. But dude, there's been so much going on. Like, the YouTube channel, like, has been going great and steady. I kind of hit my stride as a content creator, where I want to be, how I want to make my content. I trimmed the fat, so to speak, of like filler content that I felt like I was just forcing myself to do just to post content. Got that out of the way. And then this is a callback to freaking, I don't even know how long ago. I did an episode about it with like streaming and stuff. I'm actually streaming back on Twitch again. I still will do a stream here and go on like YouTube, making a model kit or this and that. But like video games, I'm actually streaming video games again. That's been years. It's been when I went live again in February, it said it had been like almost exactly 2 years since the last time I streamed a video game on any platform. So I was like, you know what? Like, it's where I want to be. That's like, I picked Twitch. I looked around. I did my research. I always do my due diligence. Also, my cat, I just fed them dinner. So at least I did one of my tasks for the day. And that's that noise you hear. Scarlett is just going to town on her food because she's a little piggy when she eats. Man. So I'm going to just recap how everything's been going. All right, let's do that. Let's jump right into it. Comic books. Holy shit. Are we in like, I know a lot of people will be like, oh, Marvel's dying, DC's failing, they're go woke, go broke. That's not the case. We are in a resurgence. I will say, for every like one or two comics, we're getting one like great run going on. Okay, like Hickman's back, Ultimate Universe, Ultimate Spider-Man's back, dude. That comic is crazy. I did a episode with Rollover Queen on YouTube. Rollover Queen Reviews. Go check that channel out. We talked about Ultimate Spider-Man. I was going to be on the Ultimate Black Panther one, but I had gotten stuck at work, and then getting home, I was like, listen, I'm not going to make it. Apologize. But man, the Hickman coming in, doing this Ultimate Universe stuff, this run is crazy. Like, I'm enjoying it. Hickman, like I said, I always, and this is consistency. You go back, you listen to the other 153 podcast episodes I put out. What do I always say? I follow writers, artists. Yeah, sometimes I'll follow characters, but if the writing starts to get me, I drop the book. But like Hickman's up there, Kyle Higgins, Donnie Cates, Ryan Parrott, Melissa Flores. Melissa Flores, okay, sidebar. Melissa Flores right now, so busy. I don't know where she finds the time to write all these comics. Because you got Rogue Sun, The Darkest Hour for Power Rangers has been phenomenal. Then Spider-Gwen Smash. I'm not even knowledgeable on Spider-Gwen, but I was like, you know what? This is a new run. I'm going to check it out. I like the way Melissa writes. Picked up issue 1. I was like, damn, this is good. It's on my pull list. You know, there's a lot of, right, Cinna Grace, like all these people. I follow writers, you know, and the comic book scene right now, there's something for everybody, but not just something for everybody, something good or great even for everybody. I think as of right now, my pull list is the largest it's been since probably like 2018, 2019. Like, it's bad. I'm back on what you guys were listening to, back on like the first handful of like the first dozen or so episodes when I'm like, I'm pulling too many comics right now. Or even into like the first year of the pandemic when I was really pulling a lot of comics, I had a lot of free time to read comics, and I wanted to support my local comic book shop when, you know, a lot of brick and mortar mom and pop shops were struggling in that time frame. I was like, nah, what can I read? Let me read everything. Now I'm just like, man, my pull list has not been this strong probably since spring into summer of 2020. That's the last time my pull list has been this stacked. And I haven't gone in like 2 weeks. I really haven't. And I do have some stuff planned with some comic book content and podcasts. Definitely some Massive stuff, because last week we got the trade for Radiant Black Volume 5. It's Volume 5 already. We are 28 issues into this run. This is crazy that this, like, Radiant Black has been around. And with breaks, it's been like, what, 3 years? Like, it's insane. Like, this run in this world and how it's shaped from just Radiant Black into, you know, Rogue Sun, into The Dead Lucky, and then Supermassive, and then Infernal Girl Red book 1, Infernal Girl Red 2, which successful Kickstarters, all this stuff. I mean, hell, I haven't talked about the podcast because it wasn't a thing since then. Dude, we got the Massiverse card game, which, by the way, Solus Game Studio and the Black Market Narrative were nice enough and kind enough to send me this. I did a video unboxing it, going over what's in it. Their Kickstarter's live. I did a video on my YouTube channel about it. Please go back to that project. I know they got funded already, but trust me, you don't want to miss out the full Dan Moore artwork, okay? Full foil cards, an expansion, a freaking, I think, a villains pack. Like, there's some team up expansion. And so it's crazy. Definitely go back it for sure. I'm loving everything that's been going on. Even the Power Ranger comic books, man. We've been getting some good Power Ranger comics. Like, everything's been so consistent and good. This is like, comic book fans are eating good. In DC, I have so much DC stuff on my pull list right now. It's crazy. Like, I'm doing Green Lantern War Journal. I do believe the Alan Scott Green Lantern's about to end. The Flash. I've got, what else is on my pull list? Well, it's almost over, the run, the Godzilla versus Kong versus Justice League, which is amazing, by the way. I've been buying way too many of the variants. We got Blue Beetle, which has been killing. I believe issue 8 is about to drop. Like, there's so many good comics right now. I am just ecstatic as a comic book fan to, like, just read comics and talk about them. If I had more time, I would be making a ton of comic book videos and reviews and stuff. I don't have time, though. I don't, because going into more stuff I'm working on, I still have the merch. I have dropped Wave 1 last year. I'm approaching a month away from the 1-year anniversary of the shop. Wave 2 and 2.5. I'm hoping to get Wave 3 ready to go on the launch, like on April 1st, which is April Fool's Day. That's my bad for making and launching my merch line on April Fool's Day, especially with the name Only Henshins. By the way, go there. Got a lot of good merch on there. And so, you know, between, you know, the merch, the YouTube channel, collabing with a lot of people, the live streams, this is the year, and I told myself, you know, this is the year where I'm going to put 110% into every aspect of it. And even if I feel like I'm like stretched thin, which I do constantly, I definitely want this to be like, okay, I can't look back and be like, man, I could have did this better this year. No, this year you're getting like pedal to the metal. I'm putting everything out there this year. Um, and I actually have a partnership for the first time in a long time, a sponsorship even. And this is going to be my ad, which is not pre-rolled, pre-recorded, and put in there. I don't like to. I'm probably going to start pre-roll, pre-recording and stuff like that. But okay, so I just said I'm spreading myself thin, working full time. That's not. I'm older. For those of you who don't know, I do not like to put pharmaceuticals in my body. I don't like pain meds. I'll take allergy medicine because I need allergy medicine, but I don't like Tylenol. I don't take pain meds. I don't do any of that stuff. I care a lot about what I put in my body, especially now that I'm getting older. I do have a lot of injuries from being an athlete. I have a bad back, messed up shoulder, twice repaired, surgically repaired knee. Dude, I've put a lot of wear and tear and just damage and miles on this body. And there's a lot of things too, like, insomnia, which, also stems from me being in pain all the time. And I always do research. And I used to dabble in like CBD and actual like weed and stuff like that. And, that was when I was like a partier. Never, for the medicinal purposes of it. And then, I started doing research. I saw a tweet or what do they call it? Is it still a tweet on it? Twitter or X or whatever? It's a tweet, right? All right, tweet. And, I just saw this thing called Space Panda. I was like, oh, hemp derivative Delta 8-9 gummies. And I'm like, what is this? Like hemp derivative? I was like, okay, so it's not technically pharmaceutical. This isn't, Tylenol. This isn't like Oxy. This isn't painkillers. And mind you, I will say I can't take insomnia meds. They mess with me bad, and I get like jittery and shit. But I got, I've been following them for a while. Did my research, this and that. Then, I showed interest on a tweet of theirs. They reached out. They sent me a bottle, which is empty, by the way. I just finished it. I just re-upped on their website. And after talking, they're like, "Hey, let's send you a bottle. Try it. Let us know what you think. See if it's a good choice." I had some conversations. Went in a little, a little call. Talking about the stuff, and now I'm sponsored, so I'm partnered with them. And this is Blood Moon. This is delicious, by the way. The reason why I'm very particular, like I said, not just with what I put in my body, but who I associate with and everything else. I gotta tell you, I sleep like a fucking baby. The amount of pain is diminished, and I can still function. That's the thing too. Funny story. I'll say the funny story. This isn't a part of the ad. So I'm reading the bottle, right? And it's like, oh, if it's your first time, like, don't take while pregnant. This, I'm like, I'm not pregnant, It says, take, half. That's the directions. Like, try it out. Take half. See how it is. And I'm like, all right. Took half. And I was like, I guess I'm feeling it. I don't know. But, like, I thought it was going to be, like, fast acting. So I took the other half. When I tell you, because it's been so long and this and that I was just out. Like, not like out, like sleep or anything, but just like out of like just whatever was going on. Like, I took it, like the first time I tried it, I was after a long day of work, this and that. I was sitting in my chair and I was just like, okay. And then all of a sudden it hit and I was like, damn. I was like, what's going on? I was like, Fast forward a month and a half or so later, and man, like this product has like actually like changed my life for the better in the last, like, because I started in January. We're now in March, like almost a little bit less than 2 months. I'm a lot more calmer. Just getting rest I need. Because you get though, because it's been a while, but like, dude, the bags on my eyes aren't as bad as they used to be. I'm not as much pain from like not being able to sleep properly and just like staying up or laying like weird positions to try and get comfortable. I'm just like able to go to sleep. not in pain, my back, my shoulder, and it's tough. And I tell everyone it's tough. Like I don't drink, you know, so I have no real like alternative outlets to clear this out of my to get to kind of numb the pain, so to speak. I don't like I said, I'm not going out getting tanked and drinking. I don't do that. I don't do any other drugs. I don't do, you know, uh, any sort of like sleep aids. And so it's like, man, like, so it's changed. Like I'm getting up, nice early in the morning. Like I slept through the whole entire night, and I'm like, damn, where were these products my whole entire life? It changes so much, and I'm really thankful to be working with Space Panda. Um, Space Panda Delta is the website, spacepandadelta.com. Now, the cool thing is, for the first month of my partnership, my sponsorship, you get 30% off your order just using the code NERDMARK at checkout. That is great. And I appreciate it. I saw some orders already made. They announced it earlier in the week on social media. I was really thankful of all the support, not from just them and their community, but also, my friends and everyone else, retweeting it, pushing out. Like, I'm not going to be the type of guy that's going to be like shilling products. And I'm definitely not going to be talking about products. Like, my rules. It's my same thing with movies, comics, video games. I'm not going to talk about something I don't have, I don't enjoy, I don't consume, I don't like, or I'm not knowledgeable on. If I don't like something, I don't talk about it. It's the same thing with comic books. Okay, you want to ask me some stuff about freaking what's going on in X-Men right now? No clue. Stopped reading it when Hickman left. So am I going to talk on X-Men? No. I'm not. I don't talk about things I don't know about. I don't talk about things I don't enjoy. I don't talk about things I don't know anything about. So let me tell you. Code NERDMARK at checkout. It's really sad to hold an empty bottle. Like it's kind of cool because I'm like, oh man, it's empty. I ate all these, But at the same time, it's like, oh, it's empty. And I didn't time out my order either because there's gonna be a couple days gap before I get my new ones. I should be fine. Also, since this is blood orange, I had to try some new ones, so I did order the Pineapple Express because anyone who knows me knows I love pineapple, unless they're Delta 8 gummies, which are a little bit stronger. The Delta 9 ones, because I have that one, I did pick up the Blue Moon one because I was like, let me try that. I was going to get the Yuzu Lemonade, but anyone who knows me and lemonade don't really mix too well from a flavor standpoint and just in general. I'm not a lemonade person, okay? The citrus, like lemons and limes, they don't agree with me. So those are the ones I ordered. But that's it. That's not my ad. That's just me talking about something new. But yeah, no, definitely, Space Panda Delta. I'm really thankful to get that opportunity. It's one of the things where I was like, I didn't want to be that person who's just gonna go and farm social media for as many companies as I can get partnered with or affiliated with or sponsored with. That's not. I don't do this for money. I don't make much from YouTube. I don't make a lot from the merch. I mean, okay, I made some money from the merch. Let's be realistic here. But the YouTube, the podcast, all that stuff. I'm not here to make money. I have a career. I have my money. Like you see all the stuff I buy, you think I'm just like barter system. Like, hey, can I get this new premium Bandai Soto Wave 3 Gachard set? I will give you 3 potatoes and my finest chicken in my coop. No, I'm paying money, so it's like, I'm not really, but I'm not like, I don't do a lot of stuff for money when it comes to content creating because I feel like you lose a piece of yourself if that's the focus the whole time is making money. Like with the merch, right? There's why I make the merch, and I'm sure some of my friends like K20 Customs, Dal Combo, we can all agree. A lot of us do merch because something's missing from the official released merch for our fandoms. For me, for Toku and Kamen Rider stuff, and even Ultraman stuff, like I'm tired of buying these official release shirts that are just PNG images, not that great of quality, just plastered on, print on demand from Amazon. And sometimes they don't come out good. I guess mine is print on demand, but it's always cookie cutter stuff. Like, whereas with me, a lot of my merch is all original designs. Everything is original for a design. Um, if it's something with a character, it's hand drawn. You know, if it's a logo that's not, yeah, I make it, but I'm not. I'm not taking screenshots, remove background, add a filter on it, PNG it, put it on there. That's not, and that's what a lot of these companies do, and I don't I don't like that. It's like, so what I'm putting out there is stuff I want to wear, stuff I want to see out there that we aren't getting. I like horror movies. A few of my designs have been horror mashups. I like 90s sitcoms. I've had some of those in the merch shop. It's that's what I look for with, when I buy clothes. Other than just like, I mean, I mean, come on now, uh that adaptation. A lot of stuff has come out too since last time we talked. I mean, we had Yu Yu Hakusho live action. We just got the last Airbender season 1, which I have to finish. I've only watched 2 episodes. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not the biggest fan of the last Airbender from the cartoon standpoint. Does it count as an anime? I know it was made by Netflix. Does it count as an anime, or is it just a straight up cartoon? I've never understood that because I know people call it anime. I just call it animated series. I do that with everything, so people don't come at me with that. And it's all right. Um, I've been watching more, a lot of. I'm going back and watching a lot of older stuff. Um, so from a TV show standpoint, I started rewatching Boy Meets World. Remember that show from TJF? I think because I listen to a lot of podcasts, even when I'm not recording podcasts. Like a majority of the stuff on my phone that I listen to is just podcasts. If I'm walking, working out, anything like that, I'm not listening to music. Actually, I'm listening to podcasts most of the time. And I was watching reading or listening to the Boy Meets Pod podcast, which is like uh, the actor who played Eric Matthews and Sean Hunter, and then Topanga, um, all hosting it, going back episode to episode, and this and that. And I was like, oh man, I kind of missed Boy Meets World. I haven't rewatched that in years, probably like a decade at least. So I was like, let me go rewatch that. So I've been watching stuff like that. My wife, begrudgingly to me, anyways, somehow managed for me to see something called Mean Girls, but it was a musical. Now, I've never seen Mean Girls, never seen the musical. I'm not the target audience. Um, and she has rewatched that so many times. And I'm starting to realize, and it was entertaining, but I'm starting to realize something about this because she bought it digitally on Amazon Prime. And we've had this incident before. I've talked about the podcast where she'll buy a movie or rent a movie on Amazon Prime. I'm like, well, look up to see when it's going to be on a streaming platform first because we have every streaming service. And she's like, too late. I'm like, all right, whatever. And it happened with a few other movies in the past. And lo and behold, it was added to Paramount Plus not even 2 weeks later after she bought it. And I told her, I was like, I told you this was going to happen. This is why I don't buy, I personally do not like buying digital movies. That's not my thing. If my wife wants to do it, I tell her, hey, if you want to rent something or buy something digitally, go right on ahead. My thing is, I like physical media. And she's starting to get into that too. She's always been into it with like CDs and like classic movies on DVDs, like rom coms and dramas and stuff like that. Me, I'm kind of like all over the place for me with physical media because one, and she likes books. I like books also, but for me, comics, uh, music CDs not so much because even though I enjoy music, I'm not a big music head where I'm listening to music constantly. Like I can go days or weeks without listening to music. It's kind of weird. I might be a sociopath, honestly. But recently, my wife, bless her heart, and I don't mean that in like the southern like backhanded type of way. Like she hunted down and found a mint working VCR. So because she had some home movies on VHS that she wanted to watch and this and that, and I was like, I like where this is going. So now she's getting into finding older movies on VHS, this and that. And then I am too. Like she found me Dragonheart on VHS. Remember Dragonheart? No? Okay, a lot of people. I didn't either until I started watching it. I was like, I remember this movie. And then the Jurassic Park trilogy. Like there's something about VHS tapes that just can you watch the previews beforehand, like coming soon, and it has that little splash page. I love that so much. And also, it's every month I at the towards the end of every month or the middle of the month, I always look at those things like, oh, what's the articles online? Here's every movie that's leaving streaming platforms. So like in February, I looked at the one for March, and then all the stuff that's being added, and I'm always like, there's some stuff here that once it leaves these streaming platforms, it's gone, and you have no other access to it unless you want to buy it digitally. And something about that just bothers me so much. And there's some movies that are in limbo that no one has the rights to. Like prime example, Kevin Smith's film Dogma, which as someone who grew up slightly moderately religious and this and that, watching something like Dogma for me was just like, it's up there with my top 10 films of all time. And I have it on DVD. And then I found it on Blu-ray, and it was 90 fucking dollars on Blu-ray. And I was like, damn, that's a lot, but that is worth it because no one that movie is one of the ones that's in limbo that no one kind of has the licensing or release rights to it. So I had to get it. And so movies like that you can't find, like there's and who knows how many movies. I mean, my good friend Billy, who did the original podcast logo that I still use and this and that, I sent him, I think I sent him a copy, a DVD copy of Dogma, as well as the Raid and the Raid 2 on Blu-ray, because I found them out here because I go to a lot of like thrift and reseller stores like Book Off, go to Goodwill a lot, and all these other Empire Thrift, all these places. It's something my wife have really gotten into in the last couple of years, is thrifting, and I go for physical media stuff, and then she'll do like physical media, but also looking for like vintage toys. I look every once in a while. I don't find a lot of vintage toys that are in like my sphere of what I collect. Like if I find something like, if I'm gonna, okay, we're gonna break it down. We're gonna break it down. I mean, this is a chill podcast episode, anyways. So for me, if I'm getting anything, if it's gonna be 80s, I need Transformers, Muto, uh, GI Joe. Maybe it depends on what the GI Joe is. Ninja Turtle stuff. 90s stuff. It's gotta be Power Rangers, of course. Always Power Rangers. The grails for me, obviously, if I can find anything like Biker Mice from Mars, Street Sharks, stuff like that would be perfect. Anything like in the realm of like the Saban era stuff, so like Master Rider, VR Troopers, Big Bad Beetleborgs, obviously Power Rangers, stuff like that. Anything that was like the 90s Fox block or whatever it was called, like that stuff, I need it. Other than that, no. I'll try and find like some hardcover graphic novels, maybe some trade paperbacks. Anything, if I can find Stephen King books or Edgar Allan Poe stuff or H.P. Lovecraft, I get those if I don't already have them, or if they're editions I don't have, because most of the time they're like $2.99. And so that's always like my main thing. The main appeal for me is, okay, can I find, you know, something new to add? And I read the books when I get my physical media stuff. If I get a VHS tape, first I check. I'm like, is it rewound? It's rewound. Okay, I rewind it. I watch it. Um, and it's just preserving physical media. It's just really important to me, especially as I'm getting older and the streaming services are getting more expensive. Like I am regressing back, like, oh man, I wish, like, where's those boxes of stuff? I'm mad at myself because there was a time frame like right before college and this and that where like I was just donating stuff and doing tag sales and garage sales, and I'm just like, man, now I miss that stuff. I'm going back and I'm finding stuff I got rid of, and I didn't get rid of the stuff because I needed money. I got rid of it because it was clutter, and now I'm like, I want those in my collection. I want this stuff on display. I do have a lot of stuff still in storage back home, which is nice, and I'm glad, especially video games. I have quite the retro gaming collection back home. Obviously, traveling across the country with it, it wasn't a necessity because it wasn't something I was playing. It was something I was collecting, which is why a majority of my comics aren't even like, well, no, I've been out here long enough now where think I have, and I brought a lot of comics with me. I don't know if I have more comics here in California with me or more back home. I am over 8,000 deep in my collection though, which is crazy. Um, and obviously you could see from, if you're watching on YouTube, from my camera angles, my horror collection of stuff. I do have my Killer Clowns from Outer Space shelf. Finally, I am going to be doing my Dungeons and Dragons the OG cartoon series shelf display probably in another week or so. I'll probably get that set up. Um, it's just things like that. I'm collecting, and a lot of people are like, well, you're 38, you're doing toys. I'm like, bro, I'm not hurting anybody. I like this stuff. I'm enjoying it. This is what, you know, everyone jokes that like you got to find hobbies, this and that. It's like, well, let's say I'm not going out to clubs, bars, this and that. I want to play Rebirth and play Pal World and all this other stuff and chill and talk to my friends and make some YouTube content. It's it's not. Let's just say it's not that serious. Like I see a lot of people. Like I saw that article and I was gonna do a video on it. Like that was like what last year. Or so. They said how much, um, you know, they adults are buying toys more than kids and how much they're spending, and they had some term for it, and I was like, that's stupid. Um, we can't just like stuff. Um, me and my wife collects, Disney stuff, and I grew up on Disney. I like Disney, but like new stuff not as much. It's mostly that I like collecting. It's one of my favorite things. And I have quite the varied collection, especially manga. Now, for those of you who are watching YouTube, you're gonna notice most of my shelves have figures on them and not manga. I moved around my manga collection, so I have it over there on a nice bookshelf because I feel like my collections over here is fine. And I'd rather have my manga and my books over there because it's more tolerable for my wife to look at compared to my little recording studio over here that's just full of figures and nerdy shit and horror stuff because she's not the biggest horror fan and I have horror stuff everywhere. I'm kind of obnoxious with my horror collection. I'm not even gonna lie. Um, so yeah, that's really it, man. Like not much, not a lot. Like it's been kind of chill the last couple months. Like I said, I just been, you know, I will say I'm very thankful that like my health is kind like back. I'm like I feel better. I feel good. I'm not burnt out. Even that's not like I said. I'm back for the long haul, and yeah. So this is just a quick little update episode of the podcast. Just want to be like, hey, I'm still here. I have not forgotten I have a podcast. That is for sure. I have some other content too I'm working on for like shows um that I really want to do. Like I have a lot of stuff like folders in Google Docs and even stuff that's recorded. Like I still have that horror podcast that I wanted to do and I have like I still have 9 episodes recorded with like 4 or 5 edited and I just never put them out and I'm like I might sprinkle those in on this RSS feed from time to time because I was thinking like there's so many different ones and I think I can do different like cover art when I do episodes uploaded. So you may see on this RSS feed if you're whatever podcast app you're listening to or if you watch on YouTube and the different cover art. So if I might put those episodes up and see if I can have that album cover show up for it. So you're like, okay, this is the Nerd Named Mark podcast, like universe. Here's his weird deep dive into Native American mythos and lore, which is something that like I'm really passionate about. Like I am Native American, and not like I'm 0.6% of Cherokee or something. Like no, I went to powwows growing up, with my great grandmother and my grandfather, my great aunts and stuff like that. Like I went to those almost damn near every couple weeks. I was going on the weekends. So it's like that was something I always wanted to like deep dive into is these lore and mythos of the Northeast and Eastern and Northern Native American tribes. I know everyone always knows about the stuff from the Pacific Northwest, but there's a lot of other like lore and mythos and creatures and cryptids that, a lot of people don't know about. But there's a lot of stuff like that. I want to deep dive into horror movies more, maybe some more rankings, some more breakdowns, going over different genre types that I love, especially, found footage. you know, there's just a lot. There's a lot I want to do this year, and there's a lot I'm going to do this year. I'm going to be adamant in putting as much of myself in my time into getting everything I want this year to be done to actually do it. But that being said, that's kind of it for the episode. We're gonna wind down. Let's cool down for a bit. So, Saturdays I stream on Twitch in the morning at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I have been playing Yokai Watch 1 on the Nintendo Switch. And I'll probably I want to add a couple more days, so I may start streaming on Thursdays also. I kind of feel like I want to do morning streams more than night streams, just because I get up early and there's nothing really much going on. My wife, and on my days off, I don't really have much going on, and my wife usually works mornings, so it'd be easier because then that way there I can spend the evening and afternoon with her and get stuff done. So I'm definitely streaming there. So it's Twitch and Nerd Name Mark on Twitch. If you're listening to this, go check out my YouTube channel. I got some cool stuff going up on there as well, and all the other social media stuff like X and Instagram. I'm trying my hardest to use Instagram more. I really am. I'm bad at it because I got to put photos up on the post, which means I have to take photos, which I don't do. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do on Instagram. I want to use it more. I really do. I think it's cool. I kind of like it more than Twitter or X, whatever the fuck it's called. But yeah, find me all those. Dude, yeah, I had also going forward, I know I did say this episode 154. I'm not going to be saying the numbers anymore for the episodes because I'm just putting the number in front with of the title of the podcast for the RSS feed and for organization purposes, so it doesn't mess it up. Other than that, I'm not numbering these anymore, honestly. Because that way there, like if I put some other quips up there and some other little fucking, not quips, if I put some other like shorter stuff like quick reviews and this and that, they won't mess with the algorithm if I just put the number in front of the actual title of whatever the episode is going to be. And that way there, I won't be like, oh, well, here's episode 160, but episode 156 and 157 were quick 12-minute reviews of something, but they weren't really episodes, you know? So I don't want to get into all that stuff. I don't want to make it over complicated. But generally, I want to thank you guys for those of you who have been checking out the podcast. I see the analytics. A lot of people are going back listening to a lot of the older episodes. And that's why I say some people were inquiring like, hey, where are you at? Where's the podcast? It's been months. I do appreciate whenever I do take my breaks, people are actually concerned and making sure I'm okay. I really do appreciate that. And those of you on YouTube who have been, supporting me over on there, dude, thank you. I love it so much just to see people enjoy the content. I don't care if it's 20 views, 100 views. I have videos now that have gone thousands of views. I don't care what the number of views are on there. I'm not an analytics whore, but if it's just one view, 100, 1,000, 100,000, I don't care. I appreciate anytime someone takes time out of their day to listen, watch, or consume any of the content that I create, because that's what matters, is if you guys like it, But that's it for the episode. This is a Nerd Name Mark podcast episode. I'm not keeping track anymore. Okay, so the last time I did an episode, I completely forgot my outro, right? How? I was saying it for over 150 episodes. I literally forgot my outro, but I didn't anymore. You know why? Because my name's Mark, and I'm a nerd. Oh, man, that was fucking cheesy. I'm going to keep it in. All right, you guys, have a good one. Enjoy. That's it for this episode.